So this is just going to be a short video, and we're going to show you how to fetch data from an API using just JavaScript. So this is kind of a useful web list here. So if you come to GitHub and look at the public APIs repo, it's just got a ton of different free APIs that you can check out. So in this video, we're going to be showing you how to fetch data from an API, and we're going to be using one of these repos here. And the one we're looking for, if we scroll here, there's a sports and fitness. We're going to be using a basketball one, and it's called Ball Don't Lie. So if we click on that, we can go to the site and check out kind of what they have going here. So I'm going to show you how to do this two ways. First, we're just going to do it kind of an older way using the .then syntax, and then we'll refactor it using async await and kind of more modern JavaScript. So this is the API we're looking at. We're going to search, we're just going to get some teams. So if we come over here and click teams, we can go get a specific team, and they got an example here, which is LA. So we'll just get some data from them just to show you how to use it. So let's actually, we'll copy this URL for later. So copy that over and then come back to our editor here. And all I have is an index.html file here, and we're just gonna kind of scaffold up our page a little bit. So we need just some markup here, and then inside our body we're gonna want a script tag, and we can come down, and in here we'll just give ourselves a little bit of room, and this is where we'll write our JS. So let's start with that endpoint. So let's go const, and we'll just call it endpoint, I guess, for now. And that's equal to, give ourselves some quotes, and we'll just paste in that. And this is just gonna get us the team, which is the ID number 14, and that's the Lakers. And we'll go from there. So let's start, actually that's already in quotes, so don't double quote, or double quote, but don't triple quote that. Okay, so come down here, and this is how we're going to do it to start with. So we're going to go const Lakers. This is going to be the data we're going to fetch, and we're using the fetch API, which is built into JavaScript, which is nice. And we can just pass in our endpoint there, and then we can go below that, and we can go Lakers.then. And we can pass in the response. Oh, that's not it, lowercase response. And we're going to do an arrow function there, open up some brackets, and in here we are going to return the response.json, and that'll turn into a JSON response for us. Okay, so then we want to come down here and we'll go .then. And we are going to pass in our data again and an arrow function, and we're going to console.log, and we are going to pass in that data. Okay, so we'll just save that, let it reformat a little bit, and let's just open this up in our browser here, and we can take a look. If we inspect this at our console over here, and you can see, let's bring that over here a little bit. We can see we get an object here. I'll bump this up for you so you can see that a little bit better. And so you can see we get the data that we want. So it's an ID of 14, LAL is the abbreviation, the city. So we get all these different methods on top of that. Okay, so that's good. Now let's go back here, and what we also want to worry about is in case we get an error. So in case we get a 404, we can't fetch the specific data. We want to cache that error in some way. All right, so coming back here, now we can tack on a .catch. And with that there, we're going to pass in the error again. And we can console.log the error. And let's see if that works now. So now I have got to change to make sure this makes some sort of error. So we'll just remove something. So something goes awry. and let's come back to here and refresh this, and we get our error console.logged here. So that is working great. So now let's come back here. Okay, so now we're going to refactor this to use async await. So let's get rid of some of this here. We're going to leave the endpoint in. So I will just comment out that, and we'll go below here, give ourselves a little bit of room. And let's start by declaring an async function. And that's going to be called getTeam. And from there, we're going to want a response. So we can go const response, and that is equal to await, and we can use fetch again, and we just want to pass in our endpoint there. Okay, so that's great. And then below that, we just want to go const data, and that's going to be equal to await response dot JSON. Now the JSON response is going to get our data first and turn it into a JSON. So let's see, we got to come below and we need to call it in order for it to work. So let's go get team, curly or brackets there, parentheses rather, and that'll call it for us. So hopefully this, and if we refresh here, we got an error here. So let's go back. And it looks like we just have the wrong API URL here. So it's .teams, not .team. We'll save that, come back, check it out. Let's refresh this and give it a second. Oh, we're not logging the data, obviously. So come back here and we want to console.log the data. Okay, now let's see this. And let's refresh that, and here we go. We got the data of the team, all these different things, and we can go, if we want specific data, we can go, say we go .full name, and we'll get that from there. So we can go data dot full underscore name. If we come back, let's refresh this again, and we'll see, you can get the data there. Okay, so that's great. The last thing we want to do is be able to catch an error like we did with the .then syntax. We can just tag on, this is the best way to do it. Often you can put your async functions in a try catch or something like that, but you can also do it like this, where you just add a .catch at the end, and that's kind of how I like to do it. It just makes it a little simpler, I think. And you can console.log the error and just pass an error. And save that. Okay, come down. Actually, let's do an error here. So let's mess this up again and come back. Okay. When we refresh that, we get unexpected and a JSON input error here is what we console.logged. So that is basically it. Two separate ways you can fetch data. It's pretty easy, just using the .fetch syntax, which comes natively with JavaScript. So hopefully this helped you. Hopefully you learned something. If you did, maybe think about subscribing or liking the video. And until the next one, thanks for watching.